Footy Show. We have a massive night for you in store. There are stories breaking all over the place. Don't miss a minute. Very shortly, over here, Sam Newman is going to go head-to-head with Terry Wallace in his first and exclusive one-on-one interview. Less than a day, Jim, before he farewells the Richmond Footy Club. No questions off limit. He's been preparing all afternoon.
He has. He's actually turned up on time. In fact, before on time. First time ever with Sam Newman. That is going to be fantastic. I can also tell you, ladies and gentlemen, almost as we speak, Cricket Australia have called a press conference here in Melbourne, and we understand that the career of Andrew Symonds is over. He's being sent back to Australia, and Craig Hutchison will join us shortly with all the details. Not usually a cricket story that gets our attention, Gary, but this one's big.
It is a massive story, and he's got plenty of other stories too involving football, of course. Dean Laidley, Jim, he's got news, and I don't expect you to comment right now about his future. His future is under review as we speak. He's going to give us all of those details very shortly.
Now, the biggest talk in football, we've got some D's fans in the house, surrounds their number one draft pick, Jack Watts, ladies and gentlemen. Going to play this week. Massive talent. He is.
Fine young man.
He is the juice, this young boy. You caught up with him. It's a terrific interview. We look forward to that. And a bizarre street talk from Footscray, Gary, that left you and I spellbound.
Seen a lot of street talks, Jim. I have over 15 years, and this is the weirdest I've ever seen. Got a very big panel too, a superstar panel who've got some musical talent that might very well be on display tonight. Plenty to get to, so let's jump straight into it. Belter of a show tonight. As I said off the top, plenty to get through. I'm not even going to introduce him, Jim. I don't know what he's doing. Ladies and gentlemen, the man under that suit is Sam Newman.
Are we on, Gary? I'm sorry, Gary. I beg your pardon. I got in late and I'm just trying to swab the area. It's a very big interview coming up. Are you there?
Massive interview.
We're here.
Very big interview coming up, and I didn't want anyone to catch bird, dog, swine, cock flu from... This is where you normally sit.
Yes.
It's okay, and you know who sits here? We just can't be too careful because we've got a very special guest. Very big interview coming up with Terry, and we don't want anyone to walk away contaminated.
Right. Well, we need you back on the set and getting yourself ready for Terry Wallace because he's going to join us very shortly. Sam Newman, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him. I know. You cannot be too careful. This is a big chat.
In this day and age, and we can't have anyone going away contaminated because your friend sits in that chair and you never know where he's been.
He's all right. He's going to be back.
He's all right.
With that massive cricket story, that breaking news that we spoke about off the top. But are you ready to go? Because Terry Wallace has been the big footy story all year, really, since round one when they got belted by Carlton. Confirmed through the week that his career is up. We're not asking him anything because it's
one-on-one.
just you.
I'm asking him.
You know very well it's you and you're ready for it.
Gary, we're going to ask him the questions we think the folk out there would want to know, and no conditions. We've spoken to Terry's agent and he said there's no conditions on the questions, and we're going to go.
Well, you get on well with him, so are you going to hold back a bit because he's a mate of yours?
Yeah, and I'll be holding right back, Jimmy. We'll be asking nothing that might be controversial.
No, you're going to ask him everything because there's a few questions that remain unanswered after the events of the past couple of weeks, and hopefully...
Anyhow, it's clear over there, so we're free to push on as we wish.
We will do that. Let's get the panel out, Jimmy.
Well, we're going to start, ladies and gentlemen, with the Saints. They are an incredible story. Won all 11 of their games this year. This man is a star. Put your hands together for Luke Ball. a premiership winning star from the Hawks, Campbell Brown. And the mayor of the equally undefeated Geelong.
No, he's carrying a bit, Bill. Something's going on in there. I might have to check that China newspaper chart to see if there's any infections there.
Oh no, he's up, Billy's up, don't worry about it. He loves his cricket as well, so be interested to hear what's happened with Andrew Simons. Let's start with you, Luke Ball. 10 in a row for the St Kilda Footy Club. It's an extraordinary start to the season.
It has been a good start, Gary, yeah, that's for sure. I think the last couple of years we haven't started that well. We've left a bit to do in the second half of the year, so to have 10 wins on the board at this stage of the year is, well, you couldn't ask for anything better, could
Don't undersell it, Lucas. You're taking the mickey at the moment. This is an extraordinary performance from a footy club. No one would have predicted that you'd be 10-0.
Oh, well, people probably tend to forget that we played in the preliminary final last year, Jim,
Yes.
so it doesn't come from nowhere. But, yeah, I think we have improved and the results are showing that. But having said that, we've got a big challenge again this week against your
this
mob.
week, Lucas. Exactly right.
Never won 11 in a row, the St Kilda Football Club. Never.
In its history.
Well, that'd be its history, Gary. Yeah. That would be the history, my friend.
Make sure you know what you're on about, William. Did you ever get the sense, though, that, I mean, as Billy said, it's unprecedented, but you start thinking, well, we're going to have to drop one sooner rather than later, but you're not going to go through undefeated, history would say.
No, I don't think so. I think early in the week we sort of make it pretty clear that that all we're going to do this week is prepare the same as we did last week, and it doesn't matter who we're playing. That outside expectations are one thing, but we've got to get on with controlling what we can control, and that's our preparation week by week. So
Prepare like this every week. We saw this when you got off the plane.
taking all
the
necessary
Queens.
precautions.
What was that like? Did you feel like a dill sitting on the plane with a mask?
I've got to be honest, it only lasted about a minute on me. My nose is no good at the best of times. I couldn't breathe, so it ended up on top of my head.
What, you didn't feel once you were outside the plane that you could take them off, some of the boys?
No, I think, yeah, as I said, just taking all precautions.
For the passengers as well. We're going to move along to Campbell Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Very nice to have the Premiership star with us. Now, Brownie, just patches we're seeing at the moment from the Hawks. A very disappointing start last week, and then you came flying back. Everyone knew you would, but you probably shouldn't have been in that position in the first place.
Yeah, that's right. We probably would have preferred to have started a little better. We spoke about it during the week, getting on top early, especially the Adelaide crowd shutting them up. But not to be. They played pretty good footy. They're a well-structured and disciplined side, Adelaide, and they're turning Amy Stadium into a real fortress again.
Sam?
Yeah.
What do you got?
How are you going, all right?
I'm going all right.
What school did you go to, Campbell?
Scotch College.
Righto. What did you do at school?
Bit of cricket, played a bit of footy.
Scholar?
Not so much, no.
Were you in the choir or anything like that?
Definitely not in the choir, mate. No, that was a little bit gay.
Did you ever join the band at Scotch College or anything like that?
No. Where's this going?
No!
Where's it going?
Explain this.
Oh, no, Brownie.
That is you.
Oh, no.
Brownie!
What is that?
Superimposed.
No.
That's got to be superimposed.
Not the hard man of the Hawthorn Football
Brownie,
Club,
you look like you just pumped 8 rounds into an elephant.
Yeah, no, that was the Scotch military band. So
what instrument?
I want to know how you got that photo.
What instrument, please?
Yes.
Trumpet.
Trumpet?
Yeah. Someone stitched me up here.
Actually, there's I don't know if we got it upstairs, but there's a big group shot of all your bandmates. Are they your sort of mates that you still stay in touch with?
I don't keep in touch with too many of them, no. So.
Was there ever this one time at band camp?
It was an all-boys school, so I hope not.
Luke Ball plays the drums too, apparently, so we'll check that. No future in the band, but I'll tell you where he has got a future, Gaz.
Yes.
Him.
What?
He's done a bit of commentating, calling the football, and reckons he goes okay.
Is that right?
You've been practising a bit, haven't you?
I've done a little bit, yeah.
Very hard
I
thing
try
to
and take
do,
off
Brad.
rate one, but
Extraordinarily tough discipline calling footy.
Well, let me tell you, I'll see if they got upstairs, the boys and the women upstairs. They might be able to get some footage right. We'll show it on the telly, and you've got to call it. Hang on, can we do it?
Yeah, we got it.
They've got to talk to me, Gaz.
We got
Shut
it,
up.
we've got it.
Oh, we got it. Righto. Righto, you ready, Brownie?
Yeah, let's go.
Call this.
Osborne long down the wing, left foot kick, looking for Franklin. Good spoil there from Pears. Short little kick, Dempsey out to the 50. Bashar Hooley now, dodging, weaving. Rioli's got hold of him, picks it up, dodges, spins, balks, back turn, handball to Bateman, back to Rioli, surely not. Cyril Junior boy Rioli goes back.
Very, very impressive, Gary.
Tell you what, Channel 9, right in the mix for the new television rights.
And you know what it was when Cyril kicked the goal?
What?
Delicious. Delicious.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brownie, that was very... I like that. It's nice. So we've dug up another piece for you to commentate, just if you're starting to get a bit smug over there. Let's roll this vision and see what Brownie's got for us.
Big, fat bastard from south-western Australia. Looks like Mal. Number one there, pushes duel. Pushes, not sure who that is. Keogh. Oh, here comes a right, and a left, and a left, and a right. I'd love to see him getting a kick. That's the only footage I've ever seen of him. Could he play? Or?
Yes, he could
That
play.
was Malcolm Brown, of course, Campbell's father, just doing what he does best over there, and he used to belt you too, Samuel.
He used to belt me around like a dirty old rag. And I reckon he dislikes seeing that as much as I dislike seeing Billy Barrett.
Oh, we might get that this
No,
way.
we won't get that, Gary. No, we won't.
We might. Very nice work, Brownie. There's a future for you there. Let's get in the first round because first game, rather, we've got lots of news coming up, and it is North Melbourne taking on St Kilda. Etihad Stadium. Now the Kangaroos, Jim. They're just struggling. 12th on the ladder, 4 wins, 6 losses. Lost to Brisbane by 18 points. Ben Warren was the highlight, kicked 4 goals. A couple of changes for the North Melbourne team. Greenwood, Goldstein, Harris and Edwards out of the side. Matty Campbell comes back in amongst others. They take on the all-conquering St Kilda Footy Club, who are on top of the ladder. With a percentage of 183, they beat Melbourne by 37 points. As Billy rightfully pointed out, never won 11 in a row. Big in here. Gardner and Gilbert are out, but Maxie Hudson to play his first game for season 2009. Yep, which is great news indeed. So wonderful. Well, I'm excited for you, Max.
Yes,
Not about the rest of them. Just spluttering the North Melbourne footy side,
Yeah.
but they are capable of causing an upset, William.
Yeah, what's going on there with the coach?
We've got the news of a review into Dean Laidley's coaching future
Hello.
coming
Why
up.
would they do a review if everything wasn't going that well?
Why don't we ask Hutchie?
All
He's
right.
going to come loaded.
Did
See-
you say, why don't we ask Hutchie? Yes. What about him?
It's coming up later in Hutchie's
Well,
segment.
we're not going to let him off the hook, but we're not going to deal with it right now. We'll deal with it when Hutchie comes and tells us exactly what's going on at North Melbourne.
Edwards and Harris dropped again, which aren't great signs, I wouldn't have thought, boys. St Kilda, for me, they love Etihad.
Brownie?
I'm going to go with St Kilda and Borley. Lee Montagna having an unbelievable year. How do you think he's been travelling?
Yeah, he has, Brownie. He's had a really consistent year. And I think probably in the past it would have been seen more as an outside player, but I think he leads the club in tackles as well, and he's right up there in the comp in tackles. So really playing sort of both sides of the game really well.
Samuel, what do you think
Are
about
you
this?
genuinely interested in what he's saying? Or couldn't give a stuff about it. You're sitting there going, Master, wow. Can I make a personal explanation, Gary?
Yes.
Now, we refer to lightheartedly Etihad Stadium
Yes.
as Ken and Margaret Stadium.
Yes.
Ken Ryan from
Yes, come
Qantas.
on.
Ken's got the brace and bits because people think he's actually either on with Margaret or he goes out with her,
Well,
or it's his mistress. Ken is married to Christina and they're going very, very well. He assured me, and Christina, they're in love, in fact. And Margaret has nothing to do with the, it's not a triumphant or a, what do you call it, a menage or whatever all that is. They are Margaret, and it has nothing to do with Ken Ryan. Ken and Christina are an item, and have been and are hoping to be for the rest of their lives.
Who's winning? They're all wonderful people, but who's winning this game?
Oh, well, St Kilda, I mean... It was St Kilda, aren't
Yeah, I think as well. It is a big week for North Melbourne, and Jim,
Yes.
a lot going on down there.
No, there isn't.
There
Don't
is.
You're being silly.
No, I'm not being silly.
You are being silly.
No, I'm going to wait till Hutchie gets here and then we're going to ask a few questions.
All right, well, we're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got a big story surrounding Andrew Simons. That's coming up shortly. Craig Hutchison's going to have that one. And Terry Wallace goes one-on-one, head-to-head with Sam Newman. That's coming up, and Sam's mailbag is next, so stay with us on The Footy Show.
G'day, mate. How are you? Good, mate. Who do you think I'm meant to be? Some clown? I don't know, mate. Some human. Get so thanks very much, sir. More face shit done here. Huh? No, I'm meant to be Terry Wallace. Oh, righto. Well, you're sacked then, mate. No, do you remember when I was here? Coached 7 years ago.
Yes, I can remember.
What's changed?
Colour of your face, maybe?
No, what's changed in Footscray? The colour of my face. G'day, mate.
My cousin.
Thanks to Carlton, Natural Blonde and Crazy Johns, of course. Terry Wallace has arrived very shortly head-to-head with Sam Newman, but before that, notification at 9 o'clock tonight of a press conference called by Cricket Australia concerning one of the biggest names in the game. Our man Craig Hutchison darted down there. He is back with all the news. Hutchie.
Yeah, good evening, Gary. A devastating blow for the controversial Australian cricketer Andrew Symonds, whose career is in tatters tonight and appears almost certainly over after being sent home from the Australian World 2020 tour of England at the moment, the World Cup about to start. He was a member of the 15-man squad. Now, Symonds will fly home tonight after a leadership group vote today headed by Ricky Ponting determined he should no longer be in the Australian team after a number of team breaches, including alcohol-related incident last night. A series of incidents which in isolation were not significant according to Cricket Australia, but were enough given the controversial and checkered history of Andrew Symonds to deem him unacceptable to take any further part. The Cricket Australia, who met tonight as a board to endorse the recommendation of Ricky Ponting and his team, have also flagged their intent to withdraw a contract offer for the 2009-2010 season, which in essence brings his career to a close for Australia. It's not the first incident, of course. It's been 3 or 4 in the last 6 months in particular, and several over the last 12 to 18 months. Tonight it was a devastated Cricket Australia Chief Executive James Sutherland who fronted the international media.
The decision's been made after Andrew has in the last 24, 48 hours broken a number of team rules. In isolation, those breaches are not significant, but in the context of commitments that Andrew has made to his teammates in Cricket Australia over the last 6 to 12 months, they are the final straw. I'm disappointed in Andrew, but at the same time, I'm disappointed for Andrew. There's no joy for me in standing here tonight and advising you of this, and in fact, I'm quite sad about it. But at the same time, we must balance the interests of Australian cricket and the Australian cricket team with those of the welfare of individual players.
Andrew Symonds is described as upset tonight and very disappointed with the decision by Cricket Australia, but one which surely they had to make. Of course, he was sent home in August of 2008 from Darwin in a similar type incident involving alcohol in November 2008 in an incident in Brisbane Bar in January 2009 in an alcohol-fuelled rant on radio, and the Sheffield Shield final is another incident. So the rap sheet has got too great. Cricket Australia have applied for permission to replace him in the 15-man squad in the World 2020, the ICC, yet, of course, to make a decision on that, but you would think that does open the door just slightly for Brad Hodge of Victoria to be recalled for Australia.
Good on you, Hutchie. Thanks for that. That is big news. You'll be back later, of course, with more football news, including the Kangaroos, and also a swine flu scare for Jack Watts, and not the one that we've heard about today from Brighton Grammar. We'll give you more on that.
That is enormously disappointing. You're talking about it is a privilege to play cricket for Australia, and 1,000 million young men in this country would give their right arm to ever be afforded that luxury, and for him to piss it up against the wall by repeatedly doing what he does is just a disgrace.
Yeah, and no doubt about that.
That
Jim.
is, it's a disgrace.
We all love our cricket, and he's been given plenty of opportunities.
Technical word, is it, Jim?
Mate, you're representing your country. You've got a rap sheet as long as his has. You'd surely be able to stay out of a bar, wouldn't you?
Almost as controversial. I think Jim Sutherland's put a fraction too much just for men hair colour in his old scone.
Yeah, well, he was pretty shaken, James Sutherland. Yeah,
Yeah.
He has got a
He's dropped the whole bottle on top
nice
of
head of
his
hair as well. All right. Enough about cricket. We're going to hear plenty of that over the next 24 hours, but let's get back to the footy. And it's time now for Sam's mailbag.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good. Now, this is from Brenton of Adelaide, Gaz.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Dear Sam,
Yes.
please ask Gary with the one R. See, he's just got one R.
He really likes it when his name's spelled incorrectly, Gary. doesn't he?
That's correct. Yeah, you could piss that up against the wall. Please ask Gary if he is moonlighting as the Norwood Football Club mascot, Rodney Redlegs. Look!
The big one brow, Gary.
That is as crisp as you'll get,
No,
Gary.
it's not.
That is sharp.
Move on.
Now, I might have made a slight miscalculation last week after reading out a letter where the man wanted 20k from me. I said, if anyone else wants any money to write in. Now, I know you think I'm joking, but this was it. They're the letters, Gaz. That's the letters. Could we come and have this cleared away? Could we have someone to come and clear it away, please?
Yep.
It's Rodney. It's Rodney Redlegs. Go and get... Yeah, I know you are. I know. This is... Look, can we have a... This is the actual outfit. They sent it over from Norwood. Go and give him a hug. Go on. Give Gary a hug. You know,
Funny, mate.
it actually looks
Oh,
like
of
it.
course it does.
Rodney, can we get the... This is the actual outfit. They sent it over.
Oh,
There it is. Look.
Yeah, it's good. Off you go, Rodney.
It's not... What?
Off you go.
What, Paul? Yes, bring him round the front, Rodney, you imbecile. Come round here. Here you are. This is Rodney Redlegs. There it is. All right, leave it on there. Well done, Rod.
Righto, Rod.
Off you go, Rod.
Get off now.
Get off, Rod.
Well done, mate. Give him another hug.
No,
on the way.
no.
Give him another hug.
No
Here.
more hugs.
One more hug. Go on.
No more. Rodney, go.
Give him another... He's serious. He punched him in the head.
You just punched her head.
Punched him because I could tell with that sour look on your face when you hit him, and then you suddenly realised you were on camera and you just put that silly grin on, or was it wind? It was over a wind.
Get on with it, yeah?
He punched a big foam
I'll
head.
punch you in it.
And I'll just ask one. I'll just read one of the letters requesting money, Gary.
Oh,
This is from John of Melbourne. Dear Sam, I heard last week that you were giving money to needy people. Well, I'm one of them. Can you help? For the past year, I've tried to save up for an Xbox 360, whatever that is. What is an Xbox 360?
PlayStation machine, video game.
Elite. But I've only saved $121.70. I only need another $600. I'm not like that prick last week who asked for $20,000. I'm 12 and only want $600, please.
Go on.
Go on, Sam.
Would he have not got... Would he have not got Kevin Rudd's handout?
No, he's only 12, Foss.
Well, look, in the best Ben Cousins fashion, John...
He's 12. That is a $600 fine, Foss, and you should send it off to Young.
For doing that?
Yes.
Speaking of that, speaking of the Ben Cousins just improvisation, we've had a number of lookalikes set in. Renee of Madeley. Jesus, what is that? Madeley? What is that?
Madeley.
That's what I said. Renee of Madeley, Western Australia, has sent in this. That's 2-week-old Mia. Cliff of Reservoir sent in this. The cat guy. Shane of Talangata sent in this.
Who's that?
Oh, the old fossil.
That's you. That's you, Foss.
That's you, Foss. Look at that.
You want to get those shorts up any higher there under your ridge?
Good work, Harry High Pants.
Look at your shirt.
Come on, Harry.
Mate, that is me.
That is you.
I haven't got a bike like that. Look at the pants. No wonder I had me prostate out. That is me.
What about the shirt you're wearing? Explain
well,
that.
what about it?
Well, have a look at it.
And this is... hang on.
Olive and
hang
red
on.
stripe
Hey,
job.
showing I've gone over a page. This is Roberta of Epping. These are... Now, this is it. Now, this is the last one. This is from Ash of Lilydale. Dear Sam, I just wanted to know if you can send me an MP3 file of Bruce McAvaney saying delicious from the show the other week. I want to make it my ringtone on my mobile. On my mobile.
You can get phones now.
We love Bruce.
Yeah, we do.
And Bruce doesn't watch the show because he got the brace and bits that the show was successful, and he took umbrage to it. He did. Yeah, I heard him say it. Yeah. Remember when he had Seasons, that show that lasted a minute? It lasted a minute about 15 years ago. Yeah. And he said when that failed, he begrudged us being successful, and he doesn't watch the show. So this probably gets back to him. We love you, Bruce, but now...
What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, now how would that be for an idea, you know, having the delicious...
on the mobile?
Yeah, you know, you could do
Delicious.
You could do it. But we don't want to touch up Bruce every week. But there could be another ringtone in the offing because this is Bruce. Now, you won't believe this. I don't know why he would do it, but this is what Bruce did when he saw someone getting undressed.
Tape, so another great contribution from him. You're probably used to all that stuff. I get excited when I see something like that.
Delicious.
Samuel.
We're just lucky he didn't take his pants off. What would you say? Why would you get excited by having some tape cut off your shoulder?
I think what he was probably saying is they don't get that insight down into the rooms after the game that we're all so familiar with.
What, having tape cut off your shoulder?
I don't know,
I get excited. Well, would you rather excited or delicious?
Delicious.
Anyhow, and Bucks, could we play it again? Bucks thought it was an unusual thing to do. I think if we could just play
Tape,
it again.
so
now listen to Bucks.
another great contribution from him. You're probably used to all that stuff. I get excited when I see something like that.
It cut out.
He said...
Delicious.
Bucks actually said, careful, Bruce. That's what he said. I don't know, because... I don't know why we can't
play
that.
Apparently.
Yeah, because, you know...
It stopped.
That's technically very hard to
we
do.
just give
Let
it
it run for another 4 seconds.
So as we go to the address, are you going to help with the ringtone? Are you going to sort that out for that young person?
Yeah. What's that? What I've got to say?
Yep. No, just you're going to get them that ringtone so they can have delicious every time their phone rings.
All right, Jim. We're only sort of vaguely being humorous, but I'll follow it up. Yeah,
thank you.
I'll follow it up.
If you want to follow up anything on Sam's mailbag, this is how you do it. PO Box 800 Richmond, Victoria 3121, sams.mailbag@9.com.au. Let's roll on with the footy. I thought Gary said something to me.
It was delicious.
It was fantastic. Brisbane take on Carlton at the Gabba Saturday night. The Lions are fourth on the ladder. Too good for the Kangas last week. They played Carlton again, Gary. In round 11, they've played them twice. They've won 4 of their 5 matches at the Gabba this season. Travis Johnston comes in. Matt Austin has been omitted. Now the Blues, as we take a look at Carlton, kept their season rolling. 41-point win over West Coast. They haven't won at the Gabba since 2002. have lost every one of their interstate matches so far this season. Corazzo, Grigg and Scotland come in, as you can see. Austin, Robinson and Russell Bill have been omitted.
Yes, and great to see Brad Fisher back last week, kicking 3 goals, and Ran Hooper also back for Brisbane. 2 very evenly matched sides. So I'm going to go with the home team, and I'll go with Brisbane.
Brisbane for me. And you mentioned Ran Hooper, 4 goals last week. You can understand why Brisbane fine him $50,000 every time he makes a mistake. Instead of getting rid of him, he's a very good player.
Lukey?
Very good ins for Carlton. I think Corazzo, Grigg and Scotland, and I think they'll need them. Actually, I think they'll get up by a very narrow margin.
That's a lot of conviction there.
Why are they playing again? It's only round 11. Luke?
I'm not in charge of the fixturing, Bill. You'd have to ask
Gil
McLaughlin.
Righto.
Who's winning?
But it is strange.
It does seem strange, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, I think Brisbane. Gary, you said. No, we'll wait till the next game. I think Brisbane should probably win up at the Gabba, Gary.
Yeah, and they're playing very well. What a good job, a great job Michael Voss is doing in his first year. But I think they're 4th. They're 4th on the ladder.
That's it. No, he's doing a good job.
Yep.
I think that's called damning with faint praise.
I think he gave me one of these ones while he did. 6 and 4, it's great. I'm going to pick Carlton, though. I think they might get up there. Righto. Now, this caught our eye through the week. We talk about getting an insight into the rooms. This was before the game. Craig Lambert and Tim Notting, just a little bit of a wrestle. He's an assistant coach now, of course, Craig Lambert. Strange things you do before a warm-up, Jim, down there in the rooms these days.
Oh, especially Craig Lambert wouldn't have played footy for 5 or 6
Unusual
years.
sort of a warm-up.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just unusual in the field of football, it's also not unusual in the field of entertainment, because we have a locked-off camera in Sam Newman's own locker. And here's Craig Hutchison and Sam just preparing. This is the dressing room here. Big Hutchie.
Look out.
But what happens here? In comes Richo. Look out. The old deck chair to the head.
Unbelievable stuff. Why do you do that? Let's get on to the next game. West Coast take on Geelong on Sunday over at Subiaco. West Coast 13th on the ladder, 3 wins, 7 losses. Lost to Carlton by 41 points last week. If they didn't have Lacroix that kicked 6 goals, they would have been in enormous trouble. They have made a few changes. Kerr out suspended and Wirrapunda's out with a hamstring. So just battling along at the moment, the West Coast Eagles. The Cats, on the other hand, are flying. They're second on the ladder, 10 wins, no losses, 155 is their percentage. They beat Essendon by 64 points. Steve Johnson, 6 goals, was a magnificent performance. 32 goals rather. Second on the goal kicking, and he leads the competition in goal assists. Harry Taylor and Tom Harley are the outs. So the back line, William, a little bit weaker, but the forwards get the job done.
Well, especially when you throw in Matty Egan and Josh Hunter out for the year, so they're getting a bit low there down the back. But Stevie J, if I can just mention his name, he is on fire. He would be nearly leading the best and fairest, the Brownlow. He's leading the goal kicking. He's just on fire. I love him.
I'm going to say, I'm very serious, Fossil. I'll direct this towards you. Much has been written about Steve Johnson in recent times, about his comeback from, he found a little bit of trouble. That man over there, Bill Brownless, has had as big a influence on his life, this is serious, as anyone else down at Geelong. And I know that might embarrass you, Will, but you've taken him under your wing over the past 3 years.
No.
Yes, you have.
I haven't, Gary.
Yeah, I'm serious.
But, but it's all him.
He's a regular at your house. He's always around there having a food.
Sniffing around, he is,
Sniffing around, Nicky. But he's done a very, very good job. Very good job.
He's a regular at his pub.
No, he's not.
You take him down the pub.
The Valley Inn?
The Valley Inn.
Sam came down and had a bet the other day.
I came down, Bill. I didn't come down, I came down.
You went into the pub and had a bet.
See, that's Assumption.
Assumption College.
Yes, they get... Grammar's not their long suit.
Scotch College and Xavier College, right?
Yes. What's the best school here? You Geelong Grammar boy? What's the best school?
They're one of the original public schools, Bill, so they're of a kind.
Yes.
Not like the school that your school's about 3rd or 4th tier in the educational area.
Who's winning, Brownie, please?
Geelong are playing for percentage.
Percentage?
Ooh. That's it.
Never pick against Geelong, as they continue to be the benchmark of the competition.
Now, I want to ask you a question.
14.
You asked Luke here before. You said, do you think It'd be good if you lost one.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, what didn't he?
I didn't say it'd be good. I said no team, to my knowledge, has gone through a season undefeated, so it's sooner rather than later they're going to drop one.
Why is that the case, Gary?
Why is
if you're by far the best side, why would you drop one?
Well, there have been great sides over the journey that haven't been able to do it, and they're a very good side. They're not a great side. Geelong are getting towards a great side, and better sides than those two haven't gone through undefeated.
We could have, Gary, round 14 see these two sides undefeated and meet each other, which would be unprecedented, and that would be delicious.
Well, that's what we're looking forward to. And you're tipping the Cats?
Well, I think so, Gary.
As am I, Foss. Now, you get yourself ready because Terry Wallace is here in the building, and after the break, he's going to go head-to-head with you over there, Foss, away from us, and you're going to ask the tough questions. Terry Wallace in the building next on The Footy Show.
Delicious.
They took a picture of your finger. You flipped the bird just to be Jovial. The camera's turning on, it's pointing down. For God's sake, cause don't f*** around. What did it achieve? Did you have a brain freeze? That Subiaco. Unnecessary, very ordinary. Ask the new trio. You're under scrutiny, even when you have a pee. It's like the Truman Show. Your on-field expertise is undermined by stunts like these. You get the heave-ho. No sex, no drugs, no wine, no women, no changes here. This is just the original song. When it comes to trouble, you have been no stranger. In and out of strife like Walker, Texas Ranger. Silly cuz rap apology you will find heavily for acting wacko. Jocularity is not your speciality, save that for Richo. The Tigers are on their knees, the last thing they need is more stories down at Punt Road. With all of this controversy, you should strive to be as bland as Trent Road.
What about that for funny, Gary?
I think stunned silence in the audience at the end of that. No,
Not sure what that
a
means.
big week it was for Ben Cousins, but a bigger week for Terry Wallace, of course. This is one of the most celebrated players and coaches of recent times, of course, a three-time premiership player with the Hawthorn Footy Club, 6.5 years at the Western Bulldogs and 5 years with the Richmond Footy Club. And it all comes to an end tomorrow night. Of course, the announcement was made through the week that his time at Richmond is over. And for the first time, he sits down exclusively head-to-head, one-on-one with Sam Newman. Can you please welcome Terry Wallace?
Now look, I feel like Michael Parkinson. I've got a clipboard here. I've got more notes here, Gary, that you've given me.
No.
These are coming from Gary, these questions. Now, just firstly, pal, we hear word that you've slipped down to the club just tonight and cleared out your office under the cover of darkness and vacated the premises. Is this true?
Yeah, I spent the last hour down at Punt Road. I'm not really one for sort of doing that during the day when people are coming up and sort of feeling sorry for you and patting you on the back. So I thought, knew I was obviously coming in here this evening, so Punt Road would be cleared. So it was probably best to do it tonight. And when people walk in at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, the office will be clear.
You're going to turn up tomorrow night to the game, are you? Just tell me, you weren't at training, were you, tonight?
Well, yeah, it actually was.
Were you out in the ground?
No, we have our last training session. We have our last training session actually yesterday, and today is a team meeting for the players. The players then go out and have a little bit of a kick. Normally on the last session, what I would do is have a press conference, but I think I've had enough press conferences to last me a lifetime. So I conducted the meeting today and then just let the boys go out for their light kick as they would normally do.
So there'll be no surprises. You'll be there tomorrow.
Certainly will be, Sam.
Now look, there's a hell of a lot of speculation about a number of things over the journey, particularly at the Western Bulldogs, and a little bit of Swans business and a little bit of Richmond business, of course, and there'll be plenty of fans from all those clubs be interested in these questions. And Terry, you're not coaching anymore after tomorrow, and maybe you can tell us some facts that keep going round and innuendos, and maybe you can clear them up for us. For a start, do you believe in karma?
Do I believe in karma?
Yeah, well, you seem to have walked out on the Bulldogs. You seem to have. I don't know if that's true. Maybe you'll tell us what the real story is. And you seem to have failed at Richmond. Would you say that's karma?
I wouldn't say it's karma. I think it's footy life, Sam. I mean, I think when you look at the way that football clubs react, I mean, coaches, there's premiership coaches that have had great times, and then there's premiership coaches that have fallen on bad times, and that's the nature of the business. Nature of the business is if you go to a side that's 15th or 16th, sometimes it doesn't work. And, you know, we had Dennis Pagan have that exact situation with Carlton not that long ago.
Did you walk out on the Western Bulldogs? Did you walk out on them or not?
Well, it's
Have we
something...
heard the real story of what happened?
No, we haven't. We haven't.
Tell us the real story.
Well, we haven't because of the fact that when it all first happened, I wasn't allowed to speak. The Bulldogs had actually slapped a writ on me to prevent me from speaking at that time, so it was never able to be done. And that's why the apology come into the club the other day. I mean, it's something that sat with me for 7 years and it was fairly strong. I thought at the time, and it seems remarkable now, and people will sort of say, well, yeah, that's really strange, but at the time I actually thought I was doing the right thing by the club. And I'll go through a very quick scenario on what happened. 2 weeks prior to the end of the season, before I left, the Friday before I left, Campbell Rose just arrived at the club, and I stress that both Campbell and David, I think, have done a magnificent job with that footy club. Campbell come with a mandate to strip the footy department. The club was really struggling to strip the footy department. They needed to take probably $1.5 million out of the footy department. There was question about whether I'd go on in 12 months' time. I coached that weekend, went back to the club on the Monday and spoke to both David and Campbell and sort of said that if they were going to strip all the assistant coaches that I'd built up over 6 years, that was going to have us at loggerheads for the next 12 months. If they allowed me to step away and have opportunity at another club, they would be able to get rid of my contract straight off, and they would also at the same time be able to be in a situation where they could do whatever they needed to do in relation to the funds at the club. They had to go backwards to go forwards.
So did they accept that?
We shook hands on the Monday night, and that was accepted as being the way that it was going to go forward.
Actually, so why are you apologising?
Well, I'm apologising because so many people got caught up in it. So many people got caught up in a mess.
But you had an agreement with the heads of the Western Bulldogs that you'd walk away, and they shook hands on it. Why would you be apologising to anyone? Because they are party to it as well.
Absolutely, I believe both sides were party, and I sort of said that around the time that I got back into the press, that I thought both sides didn't handle the whole thing very, very well at all. But so many people got hurt. I got hurt, and I know Western Bulldogs people won't believe that, but I got hurt. I believe my reputation got hurt. I believe that not even to the degree did the players know what went on, because before I could actually even get down to the football club, it had already been released on the Tuesday morning, and I had no opportunity to be able to speak to the playing group at the time. So it caused an inordinate amount of problems for a lot of people.
So did you do... Now, I want you to think about this. Did you do that because you had a head of agreement with the Sydney Swans to go and coach them?
My management spoke after I had spoken to Campbell Rose, spoke to find out whether there'd be any opportunity for me to step away anywhere else. I wasn't going to do anything, anywhere, at any time.
So you were willing to throw yourself on the ranks of the unemployment by leaving the Western Bulldogs without a job to go to?
No, I didn't say that. I said my management spoke from the Friday to the Monday to
the Swans?
Those clubs that were out there and available to see whether there was going to be any positions available. I then went to the CEO of the Western Bulldogs and the president of the Western Bulldogs and said, there are opportunities for me, so there is a chance for an opportunity for you to clear your books. And incidentally, that clearing of the books allowed all of a sudden a Brownlow medalist to come into the club. I mean, all of a sudden Cooney and Griffin were picked up in the next 2 years. Sometimes when you go backwards, you actually go forwards. But
you digress.
I spoke to those two gentlemen, and we had come to a handshake agreement on the Monday night. What had happened then was they had a meeting on the Tuesday morning.
This is the Western Bulldogs.
Yes,
still. No, I'm not asking about them now. I'm asking you, did you have a head of agreement, an undertaking from the Sydney Swans that you would coach them?
No, I did not.
Never?
No, my management group had spoken to them about the availability of being able to perhaps go there. And that's what I was going forward to be able to do.
So you didn't leave the Western Bulldogs with the view that you thought you'd go to coach the Sydney Swans?
Yes, I did. It's a completely different. There was no heads of agreement, but my management group were in a position where we thought that we had an availability to go to the Sydney Swans.
Now I'm going to ask you this. The speculation is that you were paid by the Sydney Swans, and then Paul Roos was installed as the coach, and they reneged on the agreement, and they paid you vaguely, in essence, paid you out or continued to pay you for a period of time. Is that correct?
Well, first up...
Did you receive any money from the Sydney Swans for them breaking an agreement?
Sam, my personal financial situation is
my own
like yours.
Terry,
is like every player's in the competition.
Of course
like
it
every
is.
player in the competition is. What I will tell you is that if I was in a situation where I was going down that pathway, would have I been working every Wednesday night on with Clinton Gribus on Fox Footy? Would have I been working till midnight at 3AW on a Friday night? Would I be working till 11?
No, because they had reneged on the agreement.
Would have I been working till 11 o'clock?
No, Terry, because I'm asking you, and it is none of my business about your financial status, but it is a very important thing, and you're not coaching anymore, to clear it up. It is a very important thing, I'd say, for everyone, just generally. Were you paid by the Sydney Swans any money at all because they reneged on an agreement to have you coach them, and they installed Paul Roos, and they paid you either vaguely out or in essence paid you for reneging on an agreement?
No.